Local and live. Covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk TriState.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Andy. We have a very special guest here today, Eric Shaner. Correct? Am I saying the last name?
Yes, sir.
Shaner. Eric Shaner. Greencastle Antrim's head baseball coach. And you guys are brand new state champions.
Yeah, we are.
We were just talking in the hallway with Katie.
Yeah.
She's on Let's Talk Tri-State. She's on our WAYZ stations as well. And she was saying she lives right on Baltimore Street. And when the parade came through, she thought something was happening, like an accident, bad accident. She was coming out ready to help, and everybody was clapping. So your guys' parade was coming through, which was awesome. I saw the videos. How did it feel coming through the town with everybody out that early in the morning to support you guys?
It was wild, and I've tried to put into words what the community support meant through all of this, because like one of our superpowers, I guess, was our resiliency, the resiliency of our kids, and I don't know that it's even possible for them to be that resilient without the knowing that you have the whole town of Greencastle on your back. And it was like you didn't have to just beat us, you had to beat all of Greencastle. And I figured, like, the send-off was amazing when we left, and I figured if we got done, got home around 10 o'clock or so, maybe we get 50 or 60 people there and to come to. We had like 50 or 60 people in the square when we came back. And then when we pulled into the high school, it's 1:30 in the morning, and there's 200 some people there. Wow. I was speechless. The boys were speechless. Like, if your goal was to make us feel special, man, was that mission accomplished. Yeah. It was amazing. And it was really cool to get to share it with everybody that night. Right away. We get to share it with them because they were all a part of this. Yeah. So I was speechless. I'm not speechless very often.
Well, like you said, it was cool to get to share with everybody right away, because usually when you come home, like you said, you have maybe 40, 50 people, and then the high kind of wears off a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there's, you go back to it.
Yeah.
It's not quite the same. Maybe it is for some people, but having everything just roll through in one succession had to be cool for the kids.
100%.
And you mentioned planning on getting back probably around 10. The reason you guys didn't is because this game went 14 innings.
Yeah.
That's a record breaker, right? Longest title game in PIAA history, yeah.
Yeah.
So we also had some pretty big dramatic moments during the game. I believe your junior first baseman, Landon Bishop, got injured, had to be taken away by ambulance. Is he okay, first of all?
He is. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Yeah, really scary moment, because you will not meet a better person in the world than Landon Bishop. He's that kid that everybody loves, and major concern amongst the players. Obviously, it's not just a player, but it's a friend, exactly. and a great kid, and somebody who doesn't deserve that. But he took it in stride, and thankfully he was able to. And I have to give a major shout out to our trainer, Sydney Myers. She was a rock star during that whole moment. She took charge of the entire situation, even with the EMT crews there. She took charge. Wow. And got him loaded up into the ambulance, and she just, thankfully she was there with us in the dugout. Can't say enough about the way she handled that, but he went and got scanned. There was no breaks, no head trauma, and he was able to rejoin. We FaceTimed him from the field when we got the trophy, which was super cool. Yeah. I think that really allowed the guys to fully be excited, because there was, you're excited you just did this, but you're still worried about Landon. And then he was able to meet us back to ride the bus home and get to experience at least all that, which was special.
Yeah. How do you regroup the guys after something like that happens, especially when you're in a state championship game like that? Sure. It's got to be a morale, not a killer, but it brings it down a little bit, because that's, like you said, it's a friend. He's on their mind.
Right.
I imagine it would be, let's win this for him in that situation.
Well, it's one of those things where I've had this question a couple times since this happened, and I said I don't know that I did anything right or special. I had good news to give them, thankfully. Yeah. Thankfully that was it was just pure concern over their faces. A couple of them got together and prayed. A couple of them were fighting back tears, understandably so. I was fortunate enough to be right there with him and see that he was moving. That was really important. So as soon as I could get up there and tell them that, I think that eased some of the concerns. when you can give good news, it's a lot easier. And, the fact that obviously your initial concern, anything with the head and neck, is that, there's feeling everywhere. He was able to feel each individual finger, which was important. They just needed to make sure that there wasn't something that didn't have an effect yet that could if something shifts. And thankfully that came all back clean. So I told him, I said, look, I know it's scary, but here's the good news. And I was very honest with them. Here's the good news. But I said, had it not been good news, the players would have been given the option to, are you ready to go home?
Yeah.
And I don't know what the response would have been. I know that they're fighters. I know they don't quit, but there's some things that are more important than even a state championship game. Yeah. And the concern over Landon was very real. So I said, okay, here's the scenario then. They're going to give us some time here to mentally regroup. We can go out here and get loose. And I said, then we got a guy on third. We're down 1 with 2 outs. If we're moving on, we got to move on. I said, Landon's in good hands now. And like we said, he's feeling everything, which is the important thing. So
Good. So not only that game, you guys came back from behind, won the state championship game. A lot of other games in your championship run happened as well. I think, let me count them, at least 2, not including the championship game.
Yep.
Came back, rallied against the Pittston area game, Westchester, Ruston. You said a movie couldn't be written any more than like a movie. What was your exact quote? Let me find it here. Well, you quote it. You said it.
Like you couldn't. Somebody says this like a movie. So no, you couldn't do this in a movie. Yeah, right. It wouldn't be believable.
When I heard the news that you won, and I looked up the clips to find, watch the action or whatever, and I said, man, every hit they have is finding a hole, and I was like, it almost looks like a movie. Yeah. And it almost looks like it's scripted and it's a baseball movie. And it was really cool to see, and just the excitement and just everything that happened. The one play where the Du Bois outfielder, I guess he lost the ball in the light.
Yeah, I don't know what happened,
but fate was definitely on your guys' side, which is a good thing, and we're happy for. But it's got to be a good feeling to come back from rally all those games. Do you have something you do in the regular season to kind of keep the kids focused and kind of like, hey, you're not out of it till you're out of it? Do you have any special type of mentality?
Well, at the beginning of the year, we talk about you're going to face adversity. It's impossible, especially with this sport. You're going to face adversity, and first thing I lead with at the beginning of the year, the first team meeting is, guys, you're not going undefeated this year. It's not going to happen. Not with our schedule. Not in the mid-pen. You're just not going to go undefeated. So understand that we're going to lose. Understand that it's up to us then if we want to make that a failure or not. Because if we can learn, obviously your goal is to win the last game. Your goal is to win the state championship game. So to do that, you have to have adversity. Adversity can either make you or break you. And we talk about letting it forge us, and we talk about leaning on those experiences. So like you go to Waynesboro, you're down 6-0. It's youth night. You got all their little kids yelling at you and stuff. And you haven't had a base runner going into the 6th inning, down 6-0, and all of a sudden you storm back and you win that game 7-6. Yeah. You turn to that, and that was one of the things I turned to in the Pittston game. I said, fellas, we were down 4-0, 5-1, and I said we were down 6-0 against Waynesboro without even a base runner at this point in time. Get a couple here, and we did. And then when they came in, we got to the bottom of the 7th inning, and we were down 2. I said, fellas, we're about to score 3 runs here, and the celebration is going to be epic. And that's a true story. And we did. We walked it off. It was incredible. The boys just dug in. They focused. I think when you look around the dugout and see that much talent, it's a lot easier to just do your job. And they are really good at just doing their job, especially when they have to. When the focus has to be on, I just need to get on base. I just need to get a runner over. I just need to get him in. They're really, really good at that. And that's something you can lean on. The Westchester-Ruston game, we knew that their bullpen could not keep us from scoring. So if we could get the Callio kid, who's going to Vanderbilt, out of the game, and we scored off him. We got 3 runs off him. So now you're down only 2, and they have to go to their bullpen. And that's where we scored the additional 8 runs in that game. So that was big too. With Du Bois, we knew we didn't have to beat Farrell. We had to beat Du Bois. And that means after that 105 pitch mark, we can get into their bullpen. And even though they had the one reliever threw extremely well, you'd still rather see him than Farrell.
Yeah.
That Farrell kid was for real. So they just did a great job of taking a large moment and breaking it up into small moments. What do I have to do right now? And that's not a testament to me. That's a testament to them. Like most teenagers can't do that. They were exceptional at it.
And that's where the community comes back in.
100%.
The parents raising them that way.
100%. I have the best parents in the world. Yeah. The best parents in the world. And we've talked as coaches about, man, this player could have gone this far. Imagine if they had these parents, and all these kids had those parents.
Yeah. Yeah, I coach my daughters in soccer, and the one thing I always say is how lucky I am to have the parents we do.
100%
for their teams.
You have to. People don't understand. Like
makes your job a little easier.
Correct. you have to have alignment to do something special, from the school district to the team to the parents to the community. And man, this was the best example I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you did mention previously you and your other coach, Coach Brookins, you guys have never reached a state championship game prior to this run. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, none of my coaches have. So Coach Nycarry has, and he's been Greencastle baseball longer than any of us. And Coach Wrights came from Waynesboro. He hasn't as well. But Coach Brookins came from some of those amazing Chambersburg teams. Yeah. I came from some amazing Montoursville teams. Actually, my high school beat Casey his senior year in the state semifinal when he was at Chambersburg, and they were nationally ranked, and my high school was nationally ranked. And but his wife has a 1994 state championship gold medal from Chambersburg softball.
Oh,
so we would always tease him that his wife was the state champ, and now he and both his boys have gold. Now that whole family's golden.
So now that you guys have hoisted championship gold, what's the blueprint for next year to keep the group hungry? How many guys you coming back? How many guys do you have coming back as seniors?
Sure. We'll have a large senior class next year. So we lose Avery Hurst, we lose Andrew Timmons, we lose Mason Malott, Noah Shiflett, and Bo Brookins from this year's squad. They're going on to bigger and better things now. But we still have a lot of ammunition coming back, and they know that. I hate to put this out in the world, so knock on wood, but I don't know that this group has it in them to get complacent. I really don't. Yeah. So, and that's my hope. The biggest thing is going to be from getting sent off on a bus and playing in Penn State and getting heroes welcome back to going to, no disrespect to any of these teams, but going to Mercersburg and playing a game with 25 people there. You know what I mean? That to me as a coach is the biggest fear. Like going to these places, there being 25 fans, and this group doesn't like to lose, and that I think will lend itself well. But as far as anything else, I mean, like on the bus, the juniors were joking, like, all right, practice tomorrow. Like, so thanks seniors, but juniors and sophomore, we got practice tomorrow. They're excited to get back together and run it back. And I think we do have a really good relationship, players, coaches, and that helps. I mean, you guys spend a lot of time together. You have to do a lot of unsuccessful things together as well. Yeah. They're just have a very mature mindset, and I think that is probably, as a coach, they're very physically talented, but their mature mindset and their desire to win is the thing that I lean on the most.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to talk to any of the players that we mentioned, except for Noah. I did speak with him last year when he played football and he got injured. It's very mature.
Awesome kid.
Very mature young man. And I'm not sure if you remember, I'm pretty sure he played baseball. Macaulay Colby, I think.
Carter.
Carter. Yep, Carter. Yep. Spoke with him as well. It was all football related, but he played baseball as well, and you could just see the focus and how they talked about the sport, which is great. And like you said, that goes all back to coaching, community, parents, and all that down the line. So it's great to see. Congratulations on your guys' championship.
Thank you so much
for coming in today. Hopefully we get to talk to you again next year.
Hopefully.
And we'll have the same conversation, just with different kids.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.